his website, anything that is associated with it, it looks good, guys. I mean, look at that. It looks good, right? Look at his website, look at his brand, look at his presence. It looks good. It's on point. He thinks about this stuff all the time. So people like us don't have to. We can go to him and we can get this at a high level very quickly, much more effectively than we would be able to do on our own. You either got to go somebody like Ray, or you got to become an expert brand yourself. But we all need what's in this guy's head. He always brings it. He always presents something awesome. I always take notes. So let's put our hands together. We got a video. We can put our hands together after this video of Mr. Ray Perez.
Just the attention to detail. Working with Ray Perez has been awesome. His team has been awesome. It is amazing the amount of attention to detail that really went into every little small intricate thing from every moment of ship. So it's been an absolutely amazing experience overall. But before working with Ray, I was really concerned about nailing my personal brand the first time around, because I knew that this is a very important thing, and the way that I present myself to the world is going to matter. After working with Ray, I am 100% certain that I made the right choice, and I would have made several other wrong choices with the other people I was considering. This is just hands down exactly what needed to happen. For me, the biggest benefit truly is the fact that we got it all done in 2 days. So it didn't take several weeks of several meetings of interviewing me and gathering information. It literally in 2 days is completely done and live for the world to see, with every detail already figured out for the next year. So absolutely, that's probably the biggest benefit to me. I would absolutely consider working with Ray more. Why? Because if he puts this much detail into what I consider just a simple launching, I can only imagine the amount of detail that goes into everything else. And so I've already asked Ray if we could work together on several other projects moving forward, and what are all the other things that we can work on that are in my realm of stuff that I'm doing, just to make sure that I get all those details not missed. I would absolutely, hands down, recommend Ray to anyone looking to do anything like this. I actually have my personal tailor who made all these clothes already made an intro to Ray, because hands down, if you're thinking about doing something with your own personal brand and you want to be recognized in any way, shape, or form, Ray is the team, period. Anyone who is looking to personally expand themselves in their market, whether you're an entrepreneur, you own a business like I do, or maybe you're a doctor and you just want to bring more people into a specific niche that you do, I don't see a thing where it's really a question of who wouldn't benefit from being celebritized. If you have anything that you are selling, whether it be a service or a product or a storefront, you're going to sell more of it just because of being a celebrity and well known in what you do. So hands down, anyone that has anything is going to allow you to build better relationships, which in my opinion would be the best type of sales.
Woo! That's a power bump right there.
All right, how's everyone doing? Good. Come on, you better than that. How's everyone doing? Much better. All right, stand up. Yeah. And give a high five to someone on your left and someone on your right. And tell them, you look good. You look great. I look good. All right, have a seat. So I'm going to skip kind of talking about myself, because I let Robert, one of our BA members, do that for me. So you guys know I specialize in personal branding. Maybe you look like a rock star, maybe you look like a celebrity in your niche industry. Why? Because the more influence you have, the more credibility, the more trust, the more people want to listen to you. They want to recommend and refer you, and they will pay you more money. How many people want to get paid more money for the exact same thing you're doing, right? So did I, and that's how I got into this personal branding. So, what I truly believe, I believe your talent is God's gift what you do with that talent is your gift back to God. And I'm very clear that God has blessed me with the talent to look at someone and work with them and pull out their greatness and turn it into visual presence. Because at the end of the day, all this branding stuff, all these videos, all these pictures, all these colors, this graphic design, all it's really doing is an expression of who you are in the world, so people get to meet you before they actually meet you. And if they haven't realized, we live in a society where there's a lot more opportunity for people to meet you digitally than will ever meet you in person. Do you agree? Yeah. So question, how do you want people to be meeting you every single day, 365 a year? What's the impression you want to give to them? And that's really what we specialize in doing. Now, this is something I live by. Business is built on relationships. Who agrees with me? Yes, right? So instead of trying to sell, why don't we focus on building relationships with people? Why don't we focus on building trust and building connection? And if they have a need for what it is that we do, if they feel connected to you and trust you, don't you think they're going to obviously want to do business with you? But here's the better part. If they like, know, and trust you, and they don't have a need for what you do, they will introduce you to someone that they know that does. Why? Because if your perception of value is a high perspective, by them making this introduction, it actually makes them look good. So it's actually egocentric to introduce you to other people. Give you an example. Some of you guys are doing business with Kevin Harrington. Do you let people know that you're doing business with Kevin Harrington? Of course. Why? Because it makes you look better. So consider that if you elevated your perception of value in a way that you were this quote-unquote celebrity in your space, more people will introduce you to your perfect customer because it makes them look good. Let's hold that for a second. So, it's all about relationships, right? So I use this. We got Jake, we got Carl, we got Martine, in my little spaceship. And it's, you know, and that's love right there, right? You guys like in the back of the car. So a couple other people that we've had the opportunity to work with, Larry and Andy Hatch, my business partner David Andrews, Matt Haynes, Robert Cypher, which you saw in the video right there, Stan Paget. Will Stan in the room? Stan in the room? All right, well, let Stan know that I just want to acknowledge him on how far he's come along. We've done a lot of work together, and by far one of the best presentations I've ever seen on the stage. So let's give it for Stan. Round of applause. We got Nick Fuller, you guys got saw him yesterday online. We got Jake Alexander in the house. And some of you guys know Jeff Peoples, right? Like, look how rock star Jeff is. Come on, you guys know Jeff Peoples. Oh my God. Okay, so really quick, my gift to you guys is I do a brand strategy session. It's really easy. I'll sit down with you, see where you're at in your business. Does personal branding apply to you? Will it make a difference? How will it make a difference? And where are there some new revenue opportunities that you never considered that are available to you if you started leveraging your personal brand? I mean, you've leveraged it, you've seen it, you haven't even focused on your personal brand, and you see these new revenue streams, right? So I'm happy to do that for you. It's really easy. Pull out your cell phones right now, just like Stan did. Go to open a webpage, go to RayPerez360.com, which is also going to segue into my ask. And I'm going to end early for the very first time ever, just to work on my ask. So go to RayPerez360. You're going to see a little pop-up that I custom made just for you guys. That image right there, it says welcome my VA family. And you click that right there. My calendar is open and scheduled just for you. After today, it will close for that brand strategy session, which is specifically created for you guys. So just take a minute, name, number, email, book a time, and you'll be scheduled. I'll sit down with you, I'll go over your business model, and I'll give you multiple options on how you can increase your revenues, your lead flow, your prices by increasing your brand credibility, trust, and authority. Okay? So give you guys 60 seconds to do that.
You want a water?
Okay, my ask. This platform that you're looking at, the 360 site, this is my SaaS company. Now, 2 years ago, I didn't know I had SaaS. Now I know I have SaaS. I really invented the 360 site because I was going to events like this all the time. I was networking all the time. I was speaking on stages, and I had no real way to connect with people without feeling salesy or without getting the business card and being effective. So I invented the 360 site, which is basically all. I invented the 360 site because I knew that social media was the way to build relationship and build more trust and credibility. I knew that giving someone my business card or my business website, they were going to feel a good one. Selling, right? Which, let's be honest, we're all selling. But we don't want people to feel that we're selling. So I figured, okay, I'll connect with them on LinkedIn. I'll connect with them on Facebook. Or if you're a millennial, on Instagram, right? But here's the problem. I don't know what social media you prefer. So I don't know the right things to connect on. So in my mind, I said, what if I had one link that connected all my social medias in the same place, connected all my websites, connected all my videos, connected all my articles, my awards, my nonprofit, my church, everything that I'm connected to in the world that has a URL, www, what if I connected it in one place? So I can send it to them, and I can let them do as much or as little due diligence on me as they want. And since then, about 2.5 or 3 years later, my social media presence has exploded. I have more speaking opportunities than I've ever had before. My business has doubled year after year. And I do zero online marketing, I do zero advertising. All I do is network, build relationships, but I've figured out a way to maximize my exposure. And no other entrepreneur has realized the psychology that if you put yourself in front of people and allow them to build more connection and relationship, they're more likely to work with you or spread your message. And I've effectively done that year after year after year with this platform. Now, up until January of this year, it was always a paid platform. This year, I've opened up a free, so you guys can click at the very bottom, set up your free account, start checking it out and playing with it. But what I need is I need feedback, I need advice on how to build and scale a SaaS company to eventually make it. And that's where we're going to stop at the gong. Go ahead and just give it a little gong. And I want your guys' feedback and relationships and connections on how to do that. Thank you. Box over here.
Toss the box. Red, red.
Everybody, so we talked at lunch about tying together your SaaS platform, your people products, and then your operating stuff all into the same sales funnel. So we'll connect on that.
So, how many SaaS company CEOs do you know and admire? Someone who you want to be like, and then reach out to them with the FedEx letter, give them a free 360. In exchange, pick their brains on how can you scale your SaaS. Oh, yeah, they look for SaaS company that you can find. Find the CEO of HubSpot and say, hey, how can I be like you? Find CEO of, I don't know, just whoever you want to be. And then, so the three, your question, that the question you asked, life is horribly research for me. I want to be like you, and I pick your brain for half a day, how to learn for half an hour.
Also, I heard hands of gold. So that.
Hey, Ray. We spoke a little bit before, and we're interested in talking with you, obviously. I just want to know, like that video you showed with that gentleman that's here actually, how was that taken approximately?
Everything different?
Yeah.
3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
It's incredible.
No one does what we do in time frame.
how many guests live in the month? But, yeah, that's what it looks like, so, talk about later. Actually, talking right now, with you, right now. Hello?
Ray, love you. I just went through this process. I just want to give you a quick testimonial. He does do it all in like 8 hours. It's totally crazy. And I was so excited when I left that I ran out of gas on Alligator Alley. I didn't even think to look down. Just phones up, phones up, phones up. I look like a rock star. It's so great. Literally, I ran out of gas. But what you do, it just hit me right now. The first one, Ray, is literally just the tip of the iceberg. You've helped me so much with the process and the systems and the 360 site. Like, I'm going to use it tomorrow in my presentation. Lead generation and all that kind of stuff. I can see you bring that into it. And I don't have to teach you how to sell it, but you know how to do that. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much more value in that than just the brand and stuff. So I just want to say that. Thanks, man.
All right, so we're here to white. Okay, actually, no, you guys do. Blue, and I'll go to Carl.
I love 360. Here's a couple of ideas that I'm just thinking about. It's a little lightweight when it comes to the functionality, and I would love to see you guys strategically under functionality, including giving your own presentations directly to the people whose work you've done with them. So they have that as a way of thinking when they send us something, also sending the presentation. Second of all, I'd like to talk about including a introduction for a free membership with every client that I sell with my portfolio, and I can introduce you to or help you get set up with maybe dozens more SaaS publishers who have products that they are currently marketing, where an added value, even on a webinar, would be something valuable too. So we will talk about that too.
Go to Carl. Great. He's got my
Yeah,
there we go.
So, Ray, I run a once-a-month private call with all of my clients, and we have actually gotten feedback. They're like, you got to get better subject matter experts because they're great experts, but they suck. They're terrible speakers. Don't have any more of them. And so we had Ray on, and I was taking a chance. I know how good Ray is, but he came on, and I'm like, this one has to go right. Then I got to know Ray's like, I'm sick as a dog, and I can't. But he rallied. He did the program. He was so a bit of an endorsement. If you have him on your podcast, he was so good that one of the people on the call was actually a learning chair putting together a leadership conference. I called Ray up. I said, Ray, you crushed it. Would you be willing to come and speak, travel to New Jersey and speak? And he agreed right off the bat. And I said, well, wait a minute, you actually get paid, right? And he's like, oh, great. Like, what he did it, he would have done it anyway. But he knocked it out of the park. He was the highest rated speaker we had on a very picky audience all year long. And then we hired him for an event coming in May. So, and I know you're going to crush it again. So if you're thinking of having him on a podcast or an event, he will totally knock it out of the park for you.
Awesome. Go ahead, Steve. All right. And then your Gene.
Two things, right? So I always think the software is just a product, right? And so you get the choice to be able to build whatever business model you want behind it, right? And you sort of chosen what I like to call kind of the Facebook or Google model, right? Where you decide to go free with it, and then there's another play somewhere on the back end, right? Like social works. The one thing I would say is there's tremendous implications to the business model you do choose, right? So being that that is new to you, that gets me some kind of my first piece of advice. I would strongly suggest whether you're a corp or whatever, build a board. If you're not a corp, build an advisory board. And use those people to kind of like challenge yourself, right? To sort of force yourself and say, hey, if I'm going to scale this and achieve this goal, I'm going to have people that are going to hold me extremely accountable. Because you've been so kind of solito for a while, right? You're going to have this like huge amount of executives around you, right? And I would suggest to people in the room with Brian Salee, who's there in the back right there. He's exited a tech company before, and he's willing to spend time talking to you for free to him. They give you a tremendous resource to
Yeah, buddy. You know you got one of these. Let's give Ray a big hand. That's all right. Yeah, Ray's always key to that. All right, guys, real quick. We're about to go down to some car rules. You do not want to miss with this this guy is one to lay down for us. You've heard his feedback. You've been here the last couple of days. This guy gives amazing feedback. He gives such good feedback because he is an active listener. So here's what I'm